Hey everybody, it's your boy, Eduardo Jackson, CEO, founder of Cinema Draft and blacksinbitcoin.com, where I stay black and love in Bitcoin, and everyone is welcome. Now, this might be one of my most exciting updates, this little podcast. There's been a phenomenon which has been happening today. It's taken over the Ethereum blockchain by storm. And I'm here to lay it all out for you all. Because once again, I do not want us to miss out on this extraordinary opportunity. And it is P3D. In particular, FOMO 3D. Let's get into it. Now, P3D, just to give you a little history, we all know how there's been so many scams, are still so many scams, clones of legitimate projects that turn out to be scams. And as you can tell, the creators behind the Power of Weak Hands 3D, a multi-dimensional 3D ecosystem, it basically came up with an idea that it's kind of revolutionary, controversial if you will. Basically, the idea behind P3D, P3D for short, Power of Weak Hands 3D, it basically tests your grip on the project you believe in this case, P3D. Now, what it is basically an entertainment platform, as they say. Some might say it's an investment platform. Either way, this is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. All right, let's proceed. Basically, let's say you have $1,000 worth of ETH, right? You would put it into this smart contract, which is P3D, and you, in exchange to buy P3D tokens, which, let's see, what are they valued at now? Right now, they're valued at 0.019, it's almost 0.02 ETH per P3D token. Now, they charge you 20% on every transaction, either on your way in to the P3D contract or on your way out. So, and what they do with that 20% is they spread those dividends around to all the other members of the P3D community. So they really do test your grip on staying in the contract, because those who stay the longest will continue to reap in dividends from anyone who's buying in or buying out of the P3D contract. Now, P3D's illustrious history, it only came out around March, beginning of March. Let's take a look at the weekly. This I think is a good all-time chart right here. Now, this is the buy price in Ethereum of the contract. Actually, let's just look at the contract overall. Let's look at balance. There we go. The contract balance, all right? So as you can see, start off back in March. It reached staggering highs. Its all-time high of 18,223 Ethereum. Its all-time high is right about here, which is 20,000, just under 20,000 Ethereum, 19,792 Ethereum in the contract. So what that means is that in this smart contract, and the brilliance of this is that it is a smart contract. It's automated, it's trustless, the code has been verified and peer-reviewed by Solidity developers who are known within the crypto community as the top-notch developers who are known for fact-checking, code checking. It's open source, which is why after P3D came out, there were a lot of clones of P3D. All those clones are now gone. Most of those were exit scams. They weren't well coded out. They were cloned just to make a quick buck. And people got in using sheer greed, thinking that if they were early in on that contract, they would make out like a bandit. And some did. But for those who stayed with P3D the entire time, today has finally been our day. Now, as you can see, the contract started off, gained steam week by week until reaching its all-time high, just under 20K in Ethereum. And then the dumps came. People started dumping hard, the early whales. You know who you are. Tron James. Craig Grant. Anyways, they know who they are. So as they dumped, the price sank and their holdings got less. Now, your boy, late to the party as always, I got in somewhere around here. So I had one really good week, and then I was caught holding a bag. I think I was down at one point as low as 60%, because every time you buy in to get more P3D, you're taxed 20%. So from jump, if you put in, let's say, $1,000 worth of Ethereum, by the time you get your P3D tokens in the contract, you're already down to about $800 worth of Ethereum. So I was down 6%. I was hating life, but I was still reinvesting. I kind of stopped reinvesting for about 2 months and just let my divs collect, right? And there was tiny. I was like $3 a day, $4 a day, if that. It was just kind of sitting there, right? And then the FOMO kicked in. FOMO 3D. Up. Can I get a FOMO in the house? All right, let's just refresh this. FOMO 3D is indeed the game changer. It is beautiful. So once again, going off their theme of exit scams and mocking all this other stuff about the scams in the crypto community, they created another smart contract which feeds directly into P3D. So the concept behind FOMO 3D is that they've built a winnable, I use that in air quotes for those of you listening to the podcast, they've built a winnable lottery system. So if you put in, and they've built teams too. So you can choose to be part of one of 4 teams. And on these teams, they have different rules for how much of your donation to the pot gets apportioned out to the various causes. So you have a portion that goes back as direct dividends to P3D holders. So even before I got into FOMO 3D, I was earning dividends in P3D from FOMO 3D's action. It was quite beautiful. So of these 4 different teams, they're paying out different percentages in P3D dividends, in FOMO 3 dividends. So you get dividends by just being part of FOMO 3D. A portion goes to a random airdrop, which right now is up to about 0.1 ETH. Oh, actually, sorry, up to almost 1 ETH, which they distribute to all the other members. And then also, the remaining vast majority of it goes to the pot. Right now, in the pot is just over 11,200 ETH, which at $450 per Ethereum is about $5 million. Now, the way this game is played is every time someone donates into the contract or buys a key, is what it's called. And right now, keys are cheap. Keys actually will always be cheap. Keys are, how much are keys? Keys are 0.0039 ETH. So essentially 0.004 ETH, or right now, $1.80. All right. And so every time someone buys a key, the timer, this is the timer right here, gets bumped up. And the object of this game, this lottery system, is the last key holder from whichever team you choose. Although, and I'll leave the wiki below in the description so you can check out the different distributions of the team. But for the most part, everyone chooses Team SNEC with the little snake symbol because that offers the most dividends, or divs. Divvies! Anyways, the last key holder from whichever team you're is there holding, the last person who buys a key wins half of this pot. So if this game ended today, some way, somehow, the winner would get somewhere around 2.5 million US dollars worth of Ethereum. Crazy, I know, but it gets better. So every time someone buys a key, this timer bumps up 30 seconds until a hard cap of 24 hours. Is this ever going to end, you ask? I don't know. That's the best part about this game, is that it is built an ecosystem around human greed. You know, Michael Douglas in Wall Street, greed is good. Oh yeah, greed is delicious, because you can't tell me with this much in the pot And this pot has been growing over the last 12 days. This game came out, I think, only 12 or 13 days ago. So we're talking, what's today? I'm recording this on the 20th. So this game came out, yeah, July 8th. Came out July 8th. So it's only been out 12 days. We're on day 13. And it's gone from 0 ETH, 0.0 ETH to 11,238 ETH in the pot. Now let's just take a look at some stats. These stats will blow your mind, all right? So this is the active pot. This is how much, the lucky winner will win half of, all right? And also here's another thing too. When this game ends, if this game ever ends, here's another beautiful thing about it. So the winner gets half the pot, and then depending on what team you're on, it's broken down into, let's see if I can find the wiki. Depending on which team you're on, it breaks up the remaining portions like so. So for example, so with every time the game ends, so let's say your team's Snek, which is me and most people, you'll see that's got by far the most ETH in the contract. If your team's Snek, 10% of the pot goes to the next round. So the second this game ends, a new one starts up, what they're calling round 2, if you live that long. All right, 20% gets distributed as dividends to the FOMO 3D players, and then another 20% gets distributed to the P3D holders on the other contract. It's nuts, absolutely nuts. So mind you, so let's take a look at some of these stats. These stats will blow your mind. 50,000, almost 51,000 Ethereum, $22 million have been invested into this contract. Even better yet, they've distributed almost 40 million of it. That's nuts. And then this kind of arbitrary, but it shows how many years and time purchased. It's like 23 years or 751 million seconds worth of this game. Because remember, every time you buy a key, it bumps up by 30 seconds up to the hard cap of 24 hours. And to give you an idea of how unwinnable this game is going to be for a while, I haven't seen this sucker go down 23 minutes. The lowest I think I've seen it has been, 23 hours. I think the lowest I've seen it has been 23 hours and maybe 15 minutes. Are you trying to tell me with over 11,000 Ethereum out there to be won, that no one in a 24-hour period is going to buy at least one key? Highly unlikely. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, what if? Is this going to make keys more expensive? Yes, but someone did the math, and someone said if they got like like half of the Ethereum, or was it 1% of the Ethereum in, actually, let's look this up real quick. Someone said, actually, let's move this. Someone said, let's see, coin market cap, there we go. So how much, so there's 100 million Ethereum out there. Someone said if you had half the Ethereum in circulation, which is 50 million Ethereum, and I'm bad at math, so I'm just going to take their word for the math, all right? But someone said if half the Ethereum in circulation was invested into the FOMO 3D contract, a key, in today's prices at least, would only cost $8. Now, of course, eventually all of this ETH scamming is going to drive the price up of Ethereum, which I would love nothing more than, because I'm steadily accruing Ethereum every day in my dividends from both P3D and now FOMO 3D. So check it out. This is what it looks like. Alright, so I started with 1.1 ETH, which at the time cost me a little over $500, right? And put into the contract yesterday, July 19th, around 9 a.m. Pacific time, all right? Cost me about $500. I had about 874 keys. The pot back then was only at 1,300. That's right, the pot has grown by 10,000 ETH in a day and a half. It gets better. I'm checking, I'm doing models and charts. I'm trying to get to financial freedom like all of us, and I figure, all right, well, because I've heard some really extraordinary stories of the daily returns of these early adopters into FOMO 3D. I mean, crazy stuff like 20% a day, 14% a day, you know, as little as 6% a day being in FOMO, right? Now, I'm already in P3D, and I've noticed a little bump in my dividends since FOMO 3D started. As a matter of fact, the moving average of the last 12 days of FOMO 3D, of P3D, of my P3D holdings, while FOMO started, has been around 3% a day, which of course is bananas. You can't get 3% a year out of your savings account at a bank, all right? So I'm getting 3% a day. I'm loving life. I decided to do a little more research into FOMO. I learned some more, asked a ton of questions. I go to the community, another community. Check this out. These guys are nuts, all right? Check out this community. It's all memes all the time. Everyone just getting super duper excited. it's going bonkers. This whole thing's going bonkers. Anyways, all right, so that's the community. And then feel free to go to their Discord because they are... That's funny. Sorry, just looking at something on the screen. But yeah, memes galore. Everyone's having a great time because everyone is getting rich quickly. It's nuts. All right, so check it out. So I put in 1.1 ETH into my contract yesterday, and then here's the thing: when you buy keys, just consider those keys gone, because now when the contract ends, you will get a portion of the pot. No, sorry, when the game ends, when the round ends, you will get a portion of the pot, but it's usually a fraction of what you originally put in. But the difference is you're making that up in dividends in spades. So I'm going to bed thinking, so once again, I put in about $500 worth of Ethereum, which yesterday was about 1.1 ETH. And so I'm looking at my dividends. I'm going to bed. It's about 3:30, 4 in the morning Pacific time, and I'm about to clear about maybe $40 in dividends, from FOMO, which is great. It's that, like, I don't know, it's like almost 1%, no, almost 10. Is that 10%? That's not 10%. God, I'm bad at math. Yeah, that's like almost 10% in one day. So all right, that's cool. And I wake up, and then also I've got about maybe $20 in P3D dividends, right? Go to bed, wake up, go back to computer. 6 hours later, it's about 9:30 a.m., 9:45 a.m. Pacific time. $388 worth of Ethereum, and the Ethereum price has gone down. It's gone down by like $30 or $40 overnight. That was just from my FOMO 3D account. My P3D account had $288 in dividends, just sitting there, chilling. So what did I do? Of course I reinvested. Duh, compound that bitch. Let's do this. So let's take a look at what my vault is right now. And don't worry, I'm doing this video one time only. This is as much shilling as you'll get from me about this subject because it's going to speak for itself pretty soon. Get into it, don't get into it. I don't care. I'm making my divs. It's totally legit. It's legal. It's a smart contract. It's all automated. As I like to say, they couldn't stop it if they wanted to. All right. Let's check out my vault today. Now, this is since 10 a.m. So right now it is 7 p.m. Pacific. So we're talking 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're talking 9-hour period. So not even half a day. 9-hour period. Let's take a look at my vault. All right. So this is on lockdown means how much ETH I would get from the pot of this round when it ends. All right, so it's not very much. 0.15 ETH. It's like 0.157 ETH is like $70, right? Exit scammed. Exit scammed is their term for your dividends, how much you've made since your last buy. All right, so my exit scam, is that right? Hold on, let me refresh this. This is wild. Refresh. Okay, that's better. Oh, okay. So exit scammed is how much you've earned from the dividends in the FOMO 3D ecosystem, all right? And then bad advice, yay, someone used my referral link, and you use my referral link too in the description below. Basically, exitscam.me/blacks in Bitcoin. But bad advice basically is how much you've gotten in referral, and so dividends from the people who are also playing. So there's a referral system. I'm not terribly worried about that. I just want to spread the information. Matter of fact, my models don't even take into account referrals yet, so don't even worry about that. But check this out. Since 10 a.m. today, 9 hours ago, I've made 0.7224 ETH. Or, for you fiat lovers out there, in current Ethereum terms, that's $324.75. Or, basically doing nothing, for the last 9 hours, I've been making $36 an hour just from FOMO. But wait, there's more. Check this out. Let's go to my P3D account. Now, mind you, now actually, before the big reveal, let's do. I originally put in 4.03 ETH into this account back on April 1st, 2018. Went up as high as 4.3, and then it went down as low as 2.5 or something. And even with the resurgence of FOMO 3D going into last night, I'd earned about 3.77 ETH, so I was almost back to the beginning. But don't forget, I've lost 20% each time I've deposited and withdrew, mostly reinvesting, right? So I was actually down some like 40, 45%, something like that, right? I was actually down, I was still down about 40% going into last night or this morning. Check this out, y'all. This is my current holding. I'm sitting now on 6.45 ETH. I have nearly doubled. I'm about 1 ETH away from doubling what I had yesterday in one day. The contract has now reached its all-time high at 20,134 ETH. This contract, when I went to bed last night, was at 8,000 Ethereum, which was up from 4,400 Ethereum 12 days ago when FOMO 3D was introduced. I have made $357 worth of Ethereum over the last 9 hours, because when I reinvested my FOMO 3D dividends, I reinvested my P3D dividends as well. And this is why we compound, y'all, because today I've basically made click clack click clack. I am doing the calculator. $681 in less than half a day. So over those 9 hours, I was getting paid $76 an hour just to mine my dividends through the combined P3D F3D ecosystem. Charts, graphs, you want charts, graphs, here's your charts and graphs. This is the 1 week, this is the daily. It goes back about a month. So see, stagnant contract, stagnant contract, stagnant contract. Oh, hello. FOMO 3D is introduced. This is, by the way, this is the P3D chart, all right? Oh, hello, P3D introduced. Nothing but up, and then today it went parabolic. And the reason why is the Chinese got in, they got in hard. They were asking for Chinese translations of the Discord and also see, now they've got their own dedicated Discord. I don't understand a word they're saying, but they're very excited, as you can see. They wanted their own translations of the wikis, P3D wiki, and the FOMO 3D wiki. All right, I'll leave all those links in the description below on the YouTube channel. And I know what you're thinking. It's not sustainable, and it's not. I agree. I totally agree. All this is not sustainable, but I don't think it's going to go down either. And the reason why is FOMO 3D is a liquidity mechanism for P3D that will almost always guarantee a flow of dividends from F3D into P3D because you are banking on human greed. You cannot tell me with this much ETH out there to be won that even on the slight chance someone could win it, that you could win it, that you're not going to at least buy a single key and bump this sucker up another 30 seconds. And you multiply that mentality by tens of thousands, essentially hundreds of thousands, and it gets real quick, y'all. Matter of fact, let's check out who the #1 user of gas is today. The Ethereum on the Ethereum blockchain, gas is the transaction fee, the fuel to the whole transaction system. It's P3D, or actually, I'm sorry, it's FOMO 3D, 22,000 ETH, chilling. Let's go to DApp Radar, because this is technically what's called a decentralized app. Because the way you get in and out of P3D and FOMO 3D is through use of MetaMask. This guy, yep. MetaMask will have you, is where you load your Ethereum wallet stuff into, and so you still own your own keys. Once again, this is, even though it's a smart contract and it's centralized in that way only, you can take out your money whenever you want. So yeah, so that's another distinction between P3D and F3D. So with FOMO, like I said, when this round ends, months, decades from now, and this on lockdown keeps growing as the contract grows, but I'll only be entitled to that. Exit scammed and bad advice, bad advice is their term for referrals. What I've made off of exit scamming, aka withdrawing, and bad advice, aka referral fees, this stuff, you can withdraw right now. You withdraw it, it goes straight to your MetaMask. It's wild. Or, if you did like I did earlier today when I took my $388 worth of dividends, you can use the vault to buy some more keys and compound that dish and accelerate your rate of dividends. It is bananas out here. And so yes, so while I said this rate, this parabolic rate may not be sustainable per se, I honestly don't see how it's going to go down very far. Even before today, even if you cut out today's explosive growth, you had a contract, I mean, on the P3D dividends that were going up from all the FOMO activity was averaging just under 3% a day. So that's what I like to use in my longer term planning. But even if you take into account today, and look, the new day has just started and it's already gone up from 18,200, so it's already gone up 2,000 ETH in like a couple hours. All right, it's a runaway freight train because greed is something you can always count on people indulging in. Look at it. Over the last 24 hours, 60%, 61% increase in the contract. The buy price just keeps going up. So all those, so the value of my P3D, my P3D tokens keeps going up. Matter of fact, let's just refresh. So we were sitting on 356.96 a minute ago. Refresh. Oh man, it's taking so much longer because there's so many people on the network right now. So give it a second. But every time I refresh, it's like what I call proof of refresh rate. That's what someone put in Discord last night. Because every time you refresh, it's a blessing. It really, really is. It's delightful. All right, so I'm gonna give it a second to get its act together. But let's just look at a few more stats just to show you the power of the contract. So basically, even though we may not see, 200% gain in the day again or something like that, and largely just because China got in, I don't even know if South Korea knows about this yet. Once the Koreans get involved, it's also going to go parabolic. It's going to be nuts. All right. So in addition to that, the reason why I think this thing will continue to grow is because you're banking on human greed. Everyone wants a realistic shot to win at a lottery. Number one. Number two, you're getting dividends just by holding and staying in the economy. And if you're a P3D holder, it's almost like you have a checking and a savings. P3D is your checking, where you can withdraw at any time, but of course, you're going to get taxed at 20% fee. Oh yeah, there we go. So we went from 356 to 364. So we gained, I don't know, $8 while I was talking to you right now. It's nice. It's nice. That's just on P3D. So this you can withdraw at any time. You can withdraw the whole thing. There's no lockup. It's just you're going to get taxed at 20% when you withdraw. All right? So it does kind of behoove you to reinvest your tokens until you get to a point where you're making so much you can reinvest half, take out half, whatever you want to do. And same thing with FOMO. Please believe all this ETH I'm going to reinvest into the contract so I can compound my rate of dividend. And that's why this thing is brilliant, because not only are you betting on human greed, you're betting on your own greed, because you almost guarantee more transactions cycling in and about with each round of dividends you get. Let's just say you reinvested your dividends for 30 straight days off of that 1.1 Ethereum initial deposit I made. You're gonna be sitting on, and you anticipate. Let's say you think you'll get a measly 7% a day in FOMO 3D returns. But by your 30th day, you'll be clocking about $450 in dividends a day just on the FOMO side. So all I'm saying is that if you're interested in getting this game, really appreciate you following some bad advice. Just click on the referral links, whatever below, but also before you even do that, do your own research. All right, do your own research, because I know it feels weird, it feels fishy, it feels scammy, but guess what? I went to a really rich private high school, a lot of white people, a lot of rich people there, and the way a lot of them stayed rich or got rich was that they shared information and they kept it amongst themselves. Now, obviously I'm putting this on YouTube, I'm putting this out on the podcast, it's for public consumption, but I am tired of seeing my people, black people, my friends of all races, any other underrepresented or undereducated or just underexposed group not having the tools to succeed. We can do this, y'all. We absolutely 110% can do this. So do your own research, throw in whatever money you're not going to miss tomorrow, because chances are P3D is going to make it back for you. I mean, this is nuts. This contract didn't exist 14 days ago, and it's already got 23 million that's gone into it, with another 18 million that's been dispersed out of it. It's bananas. So just to recap, P3D is your checking. That's where you can withdraw your money at any time, but it's going to cost you 20%. 20% in and 20% out. So make sure that you at least have 40% ROI before you decide to take your money out, all right? All right, that's number one. Number two, FOMO 3D, and just real quick, P3D, FOMO 3D, all right? And FOMO is like your savings. You're going to put that money in and you're going to forget about it. You may never get that money back, but you'll get dividends, which will end up being more than you put in. Once again, remember how I mentioned I put in 1.1 ETH yesterday? I've already gained 0.72 ETH in the last 9 hours. In addition to how much ETH was that yesterday? I think I made, in addition to 0.83 ETH I made yesterday, largely overnight. Believe me, no one was as shocked as I was when I woke up to see my full $40 in divvies go up to 388. It's bonkers. And make things even better is that Ethereum is at bargain basement prices. All right, so now it's starting to climb back up a little bit, 453, but it's been, most of the alts have had a really rough time of it today. Look at the 7-day. 490, about 505 was its high a few days ago, and now we're down to 450. So get this ETH while it's cheap, because I promise you, as word of this spreads, from more capable spokespeople for this. And I'm not even a spokesperson. I'm just an enthusiast. I just want to share with you what I know. I mean, I kind of don't care if you don't get into it because I really don't need the referrals, as you can see. I just care about the people who are truly interested in a shot at financial freedom through cryptocurrency and they're taking a shot at this. Just throw in something you're not going to miss, because the trick is you can keep compounding it to the point where you'll probably be living off of it. It's this, and I would love to say that this is going to end sometime soon, but I honestly don't see how it is. How do you stop people from being people? How do you stop greed from being greedy? Because I promise you, if this thing ever gets down to 30 seconds, I'm buying me a key. All right? I'm buying me a key because I want a shot at $2.6 million. But in the meantime, I'm just going to sit back here and enjoy my dividends, all right? What else should I tell you guys about? It's number one. Oh, yeah, so it's number one decentralized app on DApp radar. FOMO 3D, followed by P3D, of course. And actually, let's refresh this. I haven't refreshed this in about an hour. and some of these numbers are just stupefying. All right. Well, over the last 24 hours, 44,000 ETH have gone into the contract. 44,500 Ethereum have gone into the contract over the last 24 hours. At 453 in Ethereum, that's $20 million over the last 24 hours, up almost 10,000%. P3D, same deal, 10,000 ETH in volume, up 2,400%. 6,200. Look at it. This is what's nuts, everyone. All right. I'm sorry if I sound like I'm yelling. I'm very excited. There's only 6,200 active users over the last 24 hours. Only 6,200 people know about this. If you feel like you've missed it or it's too late, it's almost too early. There's only 6,200 people in FOMO 3D. There's only 2,400 people in P3D. Oh my God, this is bananas. Do what you like. I'm here to share the information. Thank you for your time and for me screaming into your ear how excited I am about this. There's some links below. Do your own research. And if and when you're ready, feel free to click on the referral link and get started into FOMO 3D or P3D. I'm sorry, I just can't stop smiling. I made $76 an hour and it's only been 9 hours today. And also, as a reminder, this is the only time I'm going to openly do a dedicated shill for this. I'm speechless. I honestly don't know how this thing can fail, only because it's decentralized, they're smart contracts, they've been code reviewed and peer reviewed to be solid, no exit scams allowed. They couldn't stop the contracts if they wanted to. If you feel like it, get in, y'all. The water's warm. Don't put in what you're afraid to lose. Compound your dividends. And join the party. It's a fun game, damn it. It's a fun game. Also, make sure you go to my blog site, blacksinbitcoin.com. We have a handy link right here if you want to click on the game to go join it. I don't know what more to say, y'all. It's real. I can't stop smiling. I really hope you take this opportunity to grab a shot at financial freedom, even if it feels a little weird at first. This is the type of stuff that at the private high school I used to go to, that they would share about other stuff. Like, I don't know, insider trading maybe, who knows? I mean, I have no idea, but those are the type of nuggets of information, financial power, and advantage that gets shared among the truly financial elite. So let's make our own financial elite, y'all. Let's do this! P3D, FOMO 3D, Lego. Thanks everybody for watching, for listening. Like and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube or also wherever you get your fine podcasts at. If you have any questions, holla at your boy, blacksinbitcoin@gmail.com. And if you love crypto, if you love Bitcoin like I do, if you're loving these innovative games like I do, hodl if you hear me. Peace. And enjoy those dividends.